Hello, Two Shot fans. It's very dark in here, although that's better. I'm kind of going on just a basic cell phone video right now. I just had a couple things to say. We're not going to edit anything. We're just going to talk from the heart. Actually, when I say heart, that right away reminded me about Kid Carson, who I'd like to talk about too, just briefly, how he got fired. And they keep saying he left or they parted ways with Z95. I hope I got that right. I'm not like a huge Kid Carson fan, but I've heard of him and I've listened to him on and off throughout the years, and he's always come off as a really straight up guy. And it was the thing about the vaccine passports that really got me. And he got in some trouble over that. I was telling friends, I was saying, like, I'm already hearing things about friends parting ways simply because one friend gets vaccinated and another friend doesn't get vaccinated. And in his speech, he said, I don't want to really specify on the vaccine itself, but more about the, what is it? Oh, the passport, the digital ID, it's about like these people and kids, like young kids who are gonna like have to get vaccinated. They're trying to get it even down to infants now. Of course, it's close. Am I off on that? I don't know. It's people that their whole life can be controlled by this digital passport and shut off at any moment. Like another thing I had was a theory about these what were they called? Those zones. Remember those restricted zones, like travel zones? The restrictions have always changed. It seemed like as restrictions were increasing, and even vaccinated people weren't allowed to go to gyms and places like that here in BC. We didn't have any of those restricted travel zones anymore. Remember we had those? Why, if we're increasing these other restrictions for people who are even vaccinated, were people not even allowed to drive to certain places a while ago unless they could prove they were vaccinated? I started thinking that's going to have to come back. I mean, is it too unrealistic to police? Because police were saying they were having problems with that. Is it too unrealistic to police that? To catch everyone? And maybe that's part of the problem. It's like, oh, we can't do it because we can't afford it. It comes down to what we can afford and what is reasonable. But I thought to myself, with these vaccine passports, you've been vaccinated. What happens when they start forcing not forcing. They start bringing in other vaccines. Because it's the new Omicron vaccine. We're literally on the news accepting all this stuff, saying we're going to have to live with it. It's becoming endemic. But yet the other vaccines are coming. It's like even the news, for some reason, is admitting this slow transition back to reality, and we want to do that. And people are changing their ideas after this trucker convoy protest, but it's not because of the protest. It was going to happen anyway. It's like this level of non-admittance or not admitting things, whatever, is just ridiculous. And they're going to say, right, that we have this new vaccine, and all of a sudden there's going to be these fully vaccinated people that are getting sick of them being cut out from places. Like, what's the point? I did it just to, like, so many people did it to save their job or their family, or they're like going to see relatives and all this kind of stuff, to fly to places. Like all your privileges, right? It's a privilege. It's not a freedom. I don't care what the fuck you call it. They take it away, and then you gotta fucking do this stuff. And now they're gonna say, what the fuck did I do it for anyway? And guess what? I've said it for the 100th fucking time. These news people are still saying you got to get vaccinated because if you get sick, you don't get as sick. I don't even care if that's as true, because the fact of the matter is, for some reason, there are 8 times as many people in BC hospitals that are fully vaccinated. It's just one thing after another. But this one here, back to Kid Carson, just briefly, sorry, I'm all over the place, but it's like, when you think of this stuff, it drives you fucking insane. You're just like Kid Carson. He started talking about the vaccine passports, how he didn't like it. He got in a bit of trouble. And then he came on with this rant saying how, I don't like that these kids are and people are going to have like these vaccine passports that can control their life. And why can't we talk about the truth? Like, seeing people that are like dancing around families on little play sets with the kids out in Ottawa, and yet they're showing these little tiny things and twisting them into other stories to make it seem like these are terrorists and people who are like complete racists, and this anti-Islamic phobia thing. I don't get it. It's such a twist. Like, now we see Ottawa, and this is one of the main points of this little speech, this rant of mine that has pissed me off, because let's say I'm talking to someone right now that's saying, you know what, you're an idiot, you gotta follow the science, you gotta follow the fucking hashtags. Well, okay, what if we could actually get a bunch of people, like, right in front of your eyes, not a bunch of numbers, but God honest proof of a bunch of people, and I don't have all the numbers because I'm just freestyling, and I really need to back this up, but I've seen enough to know that I can literally say, go ahead, prove me wrong, because how many times do we see a group gathering? Let's go back to 2020, for example. People celebrating President Biden's win over Trump, or people still celebrating Donald Trump's effort to win. There were big crowds all over the place. There were concerts. There was these big parties at UVic. There was people gathering at places in Kelowna. There were other protests. No matter what it was, there was always people, and they got COVID. There was a bunch of people got COVID from there. Someone's got their face blurred out. Yeah, I was at that rant or that protest, and I got COVID. You know, and these numbers would always increase. Where are these numbers increasing right now? Because this isn't something that happened for a day or a few hours. This has been happening for over 2 weeks now. What day are we on? I'm actually. It's been quite a while. I think because I think it's just over 2 weeks. I think it's like 16 or 17. I got to double check this thing. But we've been there in Ottawa and Windsor and all these other protests that are starting all over the place. And tomorrow is Super Bowl day. And I don't know what's going to happen in the States, but there's talk. These people, where are all the cases from these people? Where are they all getting sick and like, oh, I got to go home. Oh, I can't be in the protests anymore. Where's Bob? Bob was one of the big speakers. Oh, he's sick too. Nobody seems to be getting sick. And they can't say that a bunch of people are getting sick because they're right there on the fucking news. Right? Do you follow me? There's your proof. There's your test group right there. Omicron. I know someone the other day that said Omicron has come into my house. They're on Facebook on the 18th. The 18th of, last month, obviously. January 18th. So it's new. Maybe they've had it for 2 or 3 days. Maybe they've had it for 4 days. But either way, not very long, because that's why they post things. By the way, I'm now sick. But the effects are moderate. So about average, like a cold or flu, as most people have always said. And this person's a bit older too. Not like in a danger age, like grandma and grandpa and all that stuff. But, 50-ish, give or take. And then on the 31st, they're just getting better now, I think. But they've been wiped out, unable to do anything for 4 weeks. 31st to 18th. Last I checked, that was 13 days. That was 13 days. That's not even 2 weeks. And even if you add those 4 days, you got 17. 4 weeks is 28 days. How the hell did it become 4 weeks completely wiped out when only 2 weeks and not even 2 weeks ago, you were only moderately sick? How the fuck did that happen? Where the hell is the goddamn calculator here?